Most of you are probably already well aware of my Core Data-640 that I made a video about. Although maybe not, because not a whole lot of people actually watched that video. I was kind of surprised, given the odd nature of the computer. I've got it set up here in my living room, or at least I did. I borrowed the keyboard for some other things. But in addition to having this set up in my living room, I also have this, which on the surface just looks like a boring, nameless clone. And really that's what it is it's a boring, nameless clone. Data-640K. You can see it's, other than this, it's in pretty good condition. In fact, this is probably, and this is what makes this interesting, this is probably the cleanest one of these that you will ever see in your entire life. This isn't the original monitor, obviously. I did not get that, unfortunately. That was pitched before I had a chance to get it. But this is the original keyboard. And as you can tell from the design, this is intended to be a PC XT clone. It is a Turbo XT clone, I believe running at 8 MHz. Let me go ahead and I'll get the monitor out of the way here, and we'll go ahead and open it up. This opens up in a very intriguing way, almost like the hood of a car. Like I said, this is probably the cleanest one of these you'll ever see. It might be the only one of these that you ever see, but... ...8 MHz turbo board. I'm glad that that little thing is over top of that ROM, because that could be bad. There's all the RAM chips. Back here is the CPU. FPU would be beside that. This doesn't have one installed. Here's the power supply. I don't know if it's got any ratings on it. I can't see in there to be able to know. Yeah, it just gives amperage figures, but I suppose you could probably calculate it if you really wanted to. But there is basically not a speck of dust on the entirety of the inside of this machine. Which is part of the reason why I wanted to take great pains to make sure that it was saved. So you might be asking yourself, why is this thing so clean? This is the video card here. And this is the floppy controller. Well, this thing was actually in active use up until about 2018 or so. In a microfabrication facility that I worked in at the time. So I did a little bit of maintenance on this machine, and I ultimately got to be the one to replace it. Originally, actually, this was used to drive a photomask pattern generator, and originally that setup actually would have used a PDP-8, but this was an add-on after the fact to convert it to PC operation, and I at the end of the day replaced that with a 33 MHz 486 DX. I don't know if that is still in service. I don't think it is. My understanding was that they were going to get rid of all of that older equipment. Hopefully when they do, they'll let me know so I can get my hands on that 486, because that was kind of an interesting 486, even if, again, it was just a generic nameless clone, and it wasn't in nearly as good a condition as this is. Not really sure why there's what looks like metal filings on the power supply there. I hope that's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I just need to get the slot covers for this. I'll have to actually find them. I thought they were over here, but they're not. But this is a working system. So go ahead and we'll close it up here, and I'll put the monitor bank on top, get the keyboard ready, and we'll watch this thing run. Okay. So this is a dual floppy machine. For some reason drive A is at the bottom, but that's the way that it is on this one. So we'll go ahead and we'll power it up. This would have been used with a Packard Bell monitor that's probably basically exactly the same as this one, but like I said, I didn't get that monitor. So it's kind of too bad. They had a Zenith one as well. That would have been real nice, but they were junked before I had a chance to get them. Huh. Well, that's not really working. Give me a second. I think maybe the video cable got knocked loose. Maybe my monitor finally failed. Yeah, just as I suspected. The display got unplugged from the computer. So it doesn't have a lock. XOR data science. There's the floppy drive. DOS version 3.3. I don't think there's very much on this. Nope, there's really nothing on this at all. It's just a bootable disk with the pattern generator program on it, which probably won't even run. Won't even run because the card's not in there. It might try. Yeah, so it tried, but obviously that wasn't going to work because the I/O board's missing. See if the B drive actually works. There's a couple more things on the B drive, but again, not very much. Alright. Went ahead and I booted it with one of the core data disks. This does not have a real-time clock. But this should have a few more things on it. This even has my debug command. So once I get that Packard Bell working, that would be nice to use. But yeah, there's really not much to see on this because it doesn't have a hard drive. I am thinking, although I may or may not actually do this, I am thinking about installing an XTCF adapter or maybe even an XT IDE with a physical hard drive. I haven't really decided how I want to take this project yet, but for the time being, it's a dual floppy system, and it is working. Sector not found reading, yeah, so these floppy drives are a little iffy, and that was one of the reasons why. Interesting. I don't know why that's having such a problem. So, anyway, yeah, so one of the big reasons why this was retired, other than the fact that it's old, was the fact that these floppy drives are having problems reading. So, when you need to use a piece of equipment, you need to have the equipment to actually work, especially when the object isn't to teach students how to debug the equipment. And it could be the disk too, I don't know, but I think that disk is probably okay, and it's just that the floppy drive is having problems reading it. So, trying to Control-Alt-Delete on this keyboard is a little annoying because the delete key is all the way over here. Oh, I'm hitting Shift. No wonder it's not working. More autofocus. There we go. Yeah, there's no real-time clock in this, or anything like that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and shut the video down there, because there's not much else I can think of to say about this machine. For now, stay tuned. At some point in the future, if I ever actually have the time, this machine is definitely a candidate for some future work. At least it actually functions, unlike some of the other machines I've looked at lately.